in Kampala alone, you've put up your hands as about 50% of you here drive. But in Kampala alone, you find that more than 50% of the people actually don't drive. More than 50% walk to work daily. I was once one of those 50%, walking from the taxi park to my home in Machindye, because I would rather walk home than get into a taxi and sit at the Queensway lights for 5 hours because the president has to pass. You know, I would rather walk home or walk to work than sit in a taxi for 2 hours due to lack of proper driving etiquette in the city. So many of us are walking, and majority of us don't like it. Some of us, it's a choice, like the previous speaker. Walking is healthy. I mean, who doesn't want to take a walk, smell the cool air, smell the roses? But if you're smelling smog from your car that is dead, how is that good for your health? At the end of the day, it's worse for you because you're walking. You're what we call what do we call those smokers who smoke by passive smokers. So you're smoking carbon emissions from the vehicle the vehicles that are 85% used on the market. You're creating 10% carbon emissions on the African continent because of the means of mobility you've chosen to use. But it's not because you've chosen to use that. It's perhaps because you don't have an alternative on the market. It's perhaps because that's the vehicle or the means you can afford to use. And if presented with a better solution, perhaps you would take that option and use it. The transport situation is something we all know. It's something we all are aware of. Many of us here have used a taxi, a matatu, like we call them in Swahili. Many of us have used the boda boda, which is the most convenient, but also the least safe on the road. We have the experience of holding on to dear life on the boda man's shoulders and your head accidentally hitting his jacket and you wondering if this jacket had been washed the day before. So we've had that experience and it hasn't been a favorable experience for us. And it's high time we revolutionize the way we move in Kampala or the way we access mobility in Kampala. This is not a case of just Kampala or Uganda at large, but this is the case of sub-Saharan Africa, or most of sub-Saharan Africa. Some of you have been to countries like Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, and Zimbabwe, and you'll find similar scenarios here. It's our time as Africans to take charge of this situation and make a difference or create solutions that serve our needs. Electric mobility has been identified as a potential solution to this challenge that we have. Electric mobility is capable of delivering a solution that is sustainable, meaning that it allows our children to experience the good things we have in our country, even when we are dead. Electric mobility allows us to decarbonize. It allows us to smell the roses of Kampala because it has zero pipe tail emissions. Electric mobility will allow us to create green jobs. Many of us, one of the biggest problems we have in Uganda is unemployment. The youth are facing this problem the most. You get to school, study this amazing course. Let's say you did aerospace engineering, for example. A very advanced, highly technologically advanced course. Let's say you did even electrical engineering or you did administration and marketing, but you don't have a job. You get out of university and you're wondering, what am I going to do to have a meal? So electric mobility gives us the opportunity to create jobs if we develop those solutions locally. So how do we create a solution that responds to that need as Africans? How does Thatcher, how does Bridget, how does Ruth, Lawrence, Samara, how do we create a solution that responds to that need as Ugandans and as Africans? Today I'll be speaking about the journey of a company that is trying to revolutionize and fill that gap in Uganda. That company is trying to meet the trilemma that we face in sub-Saharan Africa. That's energy security, limited energy access. Many of us don't have access to electricity. You have access to electricity here. Majority of you probably don't know what a tadova is, or a paraffin lamp. But if you travel out of Kampala, if you travel out of the cities, you'll find people who have never seen a light bulb. So how do we address that challenge? Electric mobility requires electricity. That's the core of what electric mobility is. So how do you take an electric car to a village that has never seen a light bulb? That's what we need to address. And how do you make that car affordable for a Ugandan who walks every day because they cannot afford a vehicle? Kiira Motors Corporation is leading, pathfinding the electric mobility journey in Uganda by creating vehicles made in Africa for the African market, for the Ugandan market, for you and me. And this is our journey. I'll be telling you the story of Kiira Motors Corporation. Allow me to take you back to 10 years ago, or about probably more than 10 years ago. 10 years ago, many of you may know this car, the Kiira EV. The Kiira EV was launched in 2011, but it's a car that came out of the minds of scholars at Makerere University who thought that they could revolutionize mobility in Makerere University using this product. And later on, as we were developing the product, the thought was, okay, how do we take it to the closest Ugandan who needs to move on the road? And that allowed us to do a lot of research and development, a lot of engineering, fixing wires here and there. We were students at that time. A lot of, trying and error, trying out different things to see how this could work. And when we got it to work, we were able to see that we could actually do this in Uganda. We can make a mobility solution that's locally built in Uganda by Ugandans. So we then figured, okay, if we can make a solution that's built in Uganda by Ugandans, how then can we make that technology available for the Ugandan? Our research further led us to understand that, okay, whereas Ugandans want to move in a nice car, at the end of the day, that's not all they want to do. Ugandans want to move with their families. We want to go to the market, buy our sack of potatoes, and then take it to our homes or take it to our shop where we are selling it. We want to take our children to school daily. That's why some of us spend a lot of time in traffic jam. And as we were developing these products, this is the Kiira EVS, which is a hybrid electric sedan that was developed during this journey. This also helped us further think about the fact of how can we provide a solution that's electric but still is cognizant of the need for charging infrastructure. So by making it a hybrid, we were able to extend the range of the vehicle, meaning that whereas the Kiira EV could move for only 80 kilometers, this one could move for up to 150 kilometers. But that wasn't enough. And as we developed those products, we realized that this needs to go beyond a project. We need to create a company that's capable of developing a product that can meet the market need. And what kind of product is that? What product can serve the need of the Ugandan who has to walk 50 kilometers up country because they don't have a solution for public transport? What product can meet the need of me who has to walk every day from home because I don't want to sit in traffic jam? Perhaps I'll just show you something brief to show you the current situation of what that environment looks like. This is the typical public transport solution that we have on the market. The business as usual scenario. This is a taxi, matatu. This is what you get in every day thinking, I'm going to get tetanus today if this piece of metal scratches me. I'm worried about that poking my body as I sit down, but at the same time it reminded me when I was younger, I was going to a primary school in Kampala City, and sometimes we walked to the school because it was very near, but other times we had to get onto these taxis, and in those days, not very long ago, we had to sit on the kameme. Those who know what the kameme is, the kameme is where the engine is in the taxi. So imagine you're a child sitting on this kameme, the heat from the engine is burning you. By the time you get to school, you don't even want to study. So you have to go back home and you're probably dozing the whole day at school. This was the case that we had to go through on a daily. But then how do you create a solution that allows you to go from this to that? You know, how do you create a solution that allows you to go from what you've seen to what it could be, what that solution could be, or even that? So at Kiira Motors Corporation, we decided to see how we could create a team of young people, some of whom came from the story that we had before, some of the scholars we had, some of them becoming designers, engineers, designers like myself. I joined Kiira Motors Corporation at a small beginning, I could say, as a student internship. Did training with them for a while. While there, I was working on the Kiira vehicle plant. I'm an architect, by the way, a registered architect. And the background we have in architecture school is that you go to school every day and you have to convince people about your ideas. You have to look at a few people seated at the front, a couple of judges, and get them to believe in you in order for them to give you over 80% in order for you to pass architecture school. You have to spend sleepless nights to deliver your project. And as architecture is a bit different from product design in the sense that it's the same in the sense that you have to work a lot. But product design allows you to work a lot with people. And once I was at Kiira Motors, I discovered this, and working with the engineers there who were my seniors at that time, seeing their passion and the drive they had for this cause, I was inspired to get into product design. So I did a master's in product design. So I'm an architect and product designer. And during this time, I was able to work on the Kayoola EVS. The Kayoola EVS is Kiira Motors' answer to your mobility need. It's Kiira Motors' answer to your need to get to work every day safely, comfortably, but at the same time, cleanly for the environment. It's your need to not worry about driving. I don't like to drive. I drive because I have to. And my car is over 17 years old, like many of us. I only drive because I have to. I don't want to sit in traffic jam. If I had a reliable public transport solution, I would get onto that vehicle every day, go to work, go home, go to the gym, go to see my friends. I wouldn't worry about driving. So Kiira Motors Corporation, through the Kayoola EVS, is revolutionizing mobility in Africa by creating an efficient solution that can respond to the need of the many citizens in Africa. So while we were designing the Kayoola EVS, and at that time I was still a young designer by then, we realized that the challenges that we've talked about, the challenges of comfort, the challenges of products that are imported, the challenges of products we cannot afford, needed to be addressed by us. And we looked into the opportunities we had. Honestly, Uganda has a vast amount of opportunities. Natural resources, name a mineral, it's here. Name a type of job or upskill, it's available. We have a vast informal sector that has built skills over time that just need to be taken to that next level of quality and standard. We have a vast resources of youth and young population, 75% of our population being below 35, youth. Youth is about 75%. So we need to see how we can harness those resources and put them in the products that we were creating. So we developed the Kayoola EVS as a low-flow electric bus designed here. And during COVID, we definitely had to ensure that you sanitize as you get onto the bus. You know, you don't touch people spreading the virus. we had to make sure the bus was inclusive. One of the challenges we noted was that the people who have wheelchairs cannot access the product, most of the products on the market. How do you get someone who has a physical disability to board a taxi or a matatu? So we provided a ramp on this bus that allows someone in a wheelchair to board, but also makes it easy for someone to easily walk onto the bus, a child, a baby. We created different features that allow you to sit in the bus and have a meeting. The bus has Wi-Fi all day for the Gen Zs, but the boomers as well, because Wi-Fi is what's happening today, and we need it for our daily lives. So the Kiira EVS, the Kiira EV, and the Kayoola EVS have become products that are synonymous with our mobility solution today. And the features, a few of them that I've mentioned, and have not been enough for us to meet that mobility need. We were also cognizant of the fact that, yes, we met the need of the people in cities. The Kayoola EVS is going to serve the cities, but there are so many people who move from Kabale to Kampala. What do they use? People moving from Gulu to Kampala, how are they going to get there? We don't have charging infrastructure in Gulu right now. So if a Kayoola EVS goes to Gulu, it will park for some time until we, get a charger over there to charge it, and then it drives back the 400-something kilometers. So we created the Kayoola diesel coach for the start as we developed the electric powertrain for the Kayoola coach that would then allow us to have intercity transit. This bus has been to Kenya, it has been to Rwanda, and it's going to DRC. Some of our clients in DRC are really, really happy with the product, and that's because we have met the need that they were seeking for. Like I was saying, this is not enough. Having a good car, having a good bus that's able to meet your needs is not sufficient. And we've had to undertake a lot of introspective analysis of our market and of ourselves to see, okay, yes, we've delivered the product. How are we going to convince the bus operators to buy it? How are we going to make sure that I can sit on the bus if I don't own it? And we've had to do a lot of talking and partnerships with technology partners, with local manufacturers to see how we can make some of these parts locally. Us, the designers and the engineers at Kiira Motors, have been able to figure out how we can harness our natural resources like bamboo. Some of you may have bamboo farms, and our floors in the Kayoola bus are made out of bamboo. The seats that we have on the bus are made here. So we want this bus to be able to not only create jobs for us at Kiira Motors Corporation, it's creating over 1,000 jobs at Kiira Motors Corporation already, but we want it to create jobs outside the Kiira Motors company. And this we are doing by localizing the supply chain of this bus. We want to see how we can source all the parts on this product locally. So if you're a manufacturer of seats, if you're a manufacturer of aluminum parts, if you're a manufacturer of steel components, we have work for you that's way beyond our capability, and we are willing to bring all Ugandans on board to deliver this product. We've built the Kiira vehicle plant to allow us to deliver this product, and this plant is capable of delivering 5,000 vehicles a year, and we've been able to develop a number of capabilities for local manufacturing that have been essential to not only allowing that Ugandan who is moving on the bus to have a job that he's proud of because he's working on a product that is made here. And this has been essential in allowing us to not only create a brand that is owned by Ugandans, but create a brand that is capable of harnessing our natural resources and also capable of creating jobs. We are happy with the journey we've taken so far, and we shall continue taking this journey. We hope that you as Ugandans will participate in this journey, but at the same time, we are aware that more and more of these products are needed on the road. So we know that some of you have said, Kayoola. There have been some people saying Kayoola. If I ask you today, what does Kayoola mean? You may say so many things, but the essence of the Kayoola brand is that Kayoola, literally in Luganda, could mean buli omu, fenna, Gwe, Nange, everyone. In English, everyone. In Swahili, kila muntu. Everyone really. We want this to be an inclusive product that not only meets the needs of all Ugandans, but goes beyond the needs of Africa and can be marketed to the global market. So we are hoping that as we take on this journey and as we continue in our journey of research, innovation and development and manufacturing, that our product is going to become cognizance with the name, the electric bus in Africa. Kayoola is equal to the Africa electric bus. Or Kayoola means sustainable mobility for all. Definitely our journey has proven that Africans, we got this, really. We have the capabilities, we can do this, and we know that in order for us to see a transformation in mobility and see a future that smells the roses, we have to do something on our own, because that future is something we have to create by ourselves. I look forward to seeing you at bus stop, boarding the Kayoola EVS, and the future products that we shall have. Thank you.